But for now, we all, in the tradition of saving the last till last, let's give a welcome to Mr. Chris Plum. And don't smoke.
Well, not in the style of Samuel Clemens. I'm going to use some moderate technology. And that means, girls, you may have to move back a row. Perfect. Yeah, great. And I'm going to go get, just because I'm a substitute teacher, the emergency low-tech version. As a substitute teacher, you can never be not prepared enough. Sometimes they leave you no lesson plan. Except for bomb making, which the kids came up with. So,
you say bomb or bomb?
Bomb making, yes. They do not write bonds, no. Well, that worked earlier. Alright. Okay. Clicker. Where do I clicker? It's nice to be here in the town of Veneta. I had friends, my 20-year reunion is coming up this year from Elmira High School, so local product.
Oh, sorry.
Falcons forever! Yeah. I had friends that were going to show up, and that could have been really bad. I think if this was at the Yukon Jack down in town, they would be here, and they would be heckling me already. But thankfully, this is a venue that they would not come to. So I did not dress up as much as Mr. Twain. I apologize. I actually combed the hair, and I thought, it's going to be bad enough. I'm wearing the hat. I don't care. It's my event, too, so I'm going to do what I'm going to do. This is, obviously, this is a joke about a show from the early 90s. But I'm feeling like my target audience may be in the wrong era here. It's okay. I'm normally telling this joke, this whole storytelling to high schoolers, and it misses them as well. So that'll be fun. We're talking about the early 1990s here. I am in middle school, 6th grade probably about when this starts. The early 1990s were a fantastic era where we just threw anything randomly together to wear. If it was colorful, you put it on. These were called Hammer pants. I had a pair. MC Hammer was a major act. I had a pair. They were blue, and they had handprints and footprints on them, and I loved them. Until on the way to on a bus ride to school one time, the kid goes, "Oh, you have a handprint on your crotch." Which to a 6th grader is the most insulting thing that happened. I probably cried for 3 days. Never wore the Hammer pants ever again. I also cried because there was another band called Criss Cross in the early 90s, and they wore their pants and clothes backwards because why not? It's an option. Let's try it. They wore their pants backwards. My name is Chris. People would ask me, "Chris, how come you don't wear your pants backwards?" Because I'm not in the band Criss Cross. Yeah, but they're Chris too. That's 7th grade mentality. And also, my name is Chris Plum, so sometimes the teacher would say Chris P, because there was 8 Chris's in my class. Thank you, Mother, for naming me Chris. There was 8 in a class of 100. There was 8 of us. Somehow we all got put in the same English class one time. That poor teacher was like, "You're Chris with a K. Your last name. You're Chris P." Well, there was also a cereal called Crispy Critters in that time, so kids would be like, "Crispy, like Crispy Critters." And of course, the tears came. But the early 90s were a nice era. This is after the fall of, well, very closely after the fall of the Berlin Wall. So we did not grow up doing atomic testing, nor like the great movie Red Dawn, where we were afraid that the commies were going to shoot us in our classroom. Oh, I love this scene. The parachutes coming down, the Soviets. That was such a great fear, wasn't it? Like, now we don't know who to be afraid of, but the Soviets were such a great fear. They were terrible people. We could just fear them, and then they were gone. Now we have to deal with these guys. But this was before that time, where all we had to fear was Saddam's Scud missiles. I'd make a joke about them, but they never seemed to hit their mark. that joke would have bombed in 1990. So this story starts 1990. We're renting this house in Linden, Washington. My brother and I are upstairs trading baseball cards. It's about midnight. He has a friend over, so who could forget baseball cards? Wow, this image is much smaller than I intended it to be. If you can see it, these are actually valuable baseball cards, like Hank Aaron and Willie Mays and whatnot. We weren't collecting those cards. We were collecting the mass-produced cards of the 1990s, like this that you might as well have just drawn your own pictures on, like this person had, because they are literally not worth the card stock they were printed on. But we didn't know that at the time, and we loved it. But every generation has their dumb things they collect. At least in the 90s, we weren't collecting pogs. Silly cardboard stick things that who even cares? You had Beanie Babies. I'm sure there are people in here who still have a Beanie Baby. Someday, eBay, $7. The whole collection might go. The 80s had their own weird things. Dungeons and Dragons, which has oddly come back again.
Yeah.
This hair is even come back again. I think this is Hermione Granger's mother playing Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah. They also have things like Beanie Babies. Sorry, Beanie Babies. Cabbage Patch. I'm looking at this. Cabbage Patch Dolls, of course, which were okay. I love her hair again. How do you even do that? I don't even know. Look, we were still clashing with Syria back in '83. What a great system. We haven't figured anything out, have we? And then the mockery of Cabbage Patch Kids, which was Garbage Pail Kids, which I think I got spanked for bringing home one time. Which meant, they always told you that dropouts don't get jobs. Yes, they do. They make things like this. The 70s had their own things, like the Pet Rock. I still can't believe that guy made $1 million. Right here I go to the 60s, but the slide didn't work, which is a lot like things from the 60s. Oh, I'm kidding. It was mood rings. I was going to show you a bunch of mood rings, but the picture refused to work with me, so I didn't. I thought about, I could put Beatlemania in there. That was kind of neat, but I kind of respect that fad, so I'm not going to put that in there. You have G.I. Joe, the first generation of G.I. Joe, not my worthless collections of G.I. Joes as well from the 90s. But going back even further, we can go back to the 50s, which had the robotic toy movement, anything from space. I love how this guy has fascist movement, so straight from the, and he carries this amazing 1800s rifle, which must have been fearful for everyone. 2-point articulation with a sparking 1900s. Well, whatever, you know what I'm trying to say. You also have Slinky. The most fun you can have for about 3 minutes. I love Slinky until every single, that doesn't fail, it goes down 3 stairs and it coils up wrong. And then you're like, oh, this will be simple. And then you end 7 hours later, you're just, I'll just bend it. Okay.
That's because they made them out of plastic.
Yes, the plastic ones were, yes. Thank you, China.
In the 1940s, they didn't tangle up. They go down whole flight of stairs. Yeah.
They
made
Some
things
things were made
better
in America. I'm too young to remember things made in America.
China's not so bad, guys.
My daughter and I have a new version of this. And it's called, you put 2 quarters in a machine now, and you twist it, and then what comes out is called a sticky hands.
Oh, God.
It's this long string with a sticky hand at the end, and it's incredibly sticky, and it flings and sticks to anything. It is the most fun you can have, so we came up with a song with it, which is Sticky Hands. It's the most fun you can have for 6 seconds. Until it falls on the floor and gets dirty and never works again. Then you wash it, and it's slightly good, but never as good. We're going to make an infomercial about it. It's going to be fantastic. Going back to the 40s, you have stickball. I love the simplicity of stickball. I am a baseball, softball player today, so I just love this. I think I found the only 40s picture of integration here, but we'll leave that out. We'll leave that out. I love the, we were talking about safety helmets earlier. This is what I love about the 40s. Here's a protruding rock. Let's make that home plate. You did not get participation awards in the 40s. You got torn ACLs that nobody knew what they were, because I don't even think they knew what a torn ACL was then. They just told you it was a sprained knee, and you just dealt with it the rest of your life. That's what I love about the 40s. Just bring it back. Nothing drives me more crazy than the safety-conscious kids. I'm not going to get into it, but the worst day I ever had as a teacher, one of the worst days I ever had, was when I was teaching 7th grade. Nobody should ever teach 7th grade. 7th grade is where kids should disappear. That's Lord of the Flies. We should just ship them out to Thailand, bring them back a year later, and then everything's okay. The kid, we were taking a state writing test. He took his pencil out, and I could see it from my room, from where I was in the front. He starts to write, his pencil breaks. And I heard it. The class was silent. One of the few ever times it was silent. The pencil broke. And I look, and I see it, and the sharpeners are behind him. I wonder if he's going to use his skills as a human to sharpen his own pencil. Instead, I watched the quivering happen. Is he going to cry over this? I am not trained to deal with crying over a pencil breaking situation. Life is going to get dramatically worse than this, son. Okay? Long story short, I ended up writing 2 referrals. I kid you not. He saw me the other day in Springfield. I was 19. I was like, hey, Mr. Plum! I'm like, ah! I cried about going back, and this one could be dangerous. We're going back to a Depression era where they didn't collect a whole lot other than maybe dirt clods.
Oh.
They had other things like corn cobs and nose harps to collect. I love the broom. What apparently is the broom sweeping scenario? Like, oh, we can owe them all. This generation became so much better than anything. Okay, so we can owe them all we want, but they became amazing, and I love them.
Yeah.
Let's not owe them and do them all. This is an image from Google Earth. It does not look like I remember it. Corey, do you remember? Do you know what this image is of? You don't know what this image is of. So let's go back in time. This is Linden, Washington. This is where we're playing baseball cards up on our attic at 195 West Weiser Lake Road. There's a beautifully ugly lake down here that we used to swim in. Okay, we lived here. We were renting this house. It did not look anything like this, did it? Okay. So here's where our dog Griffey is. That later disappeared. Dad. Named after Ken Griffey Jr. This is where a gentleman we didn't know named Dale lived. This is a story about Dale. This entire story is about Dale. Dale's house didn't look like this is an above view, which is going to bother me. His house was orange. His roof was obviously not orange, but for the sake of this purpose, we're going to make it orange. Okay. And it's also midnight, and I tried to do some filters to make this dark, and I'm like, that's dumb. Can we just use our imaginations and low-tech ourselves to pretend it's midnight right now? It's midnight. When suddenly... Bam. I'll redo that for you.
It's a car, right? A truck?
Bam. Well, we don't know what it is right now. So what happens? We rush downstairs. We think it's an earthquake. We think it's an earthquake. We're like, what is going on? We run downstairs. Mom and Dad wake up. We look out our front window, and my dad's like, there's a truck at our front lawn. a 1989 Nissan pickup truck. I love this vehicle, by the way. Why don't they sell this? Why can't we go down and buy a version of this for $7,000 brand new? No frills, just a pickup truck that works. Is that too much to ask, America? It feels like it is. There's a truck in our front lawn, and sitting in its payload is our front pillar. Now, remember, this is midnight, and I don't know if you've ever been woke up in the middle of the night, and you're like, something happens. Well, later on in my life, in the college years, there was a police officer knocked on the door. I'm not going to get into that story. But and that moment, I was like, what's going on? Why is there a pillar in the back of this pickup truck? Well, it turns out Dale lives on a slight hill. You can't see this because it's 2D, but it kind of comes down a low depression. Dale must have left his truck in neutral, and it must have rolled across the street, slammed into our front pillar, perfectly knocking that into his payload, like it had been placed there by a Home Depot employee. This is 1990. It might have been home base in 1990. We might have been going to Copeland. Where would we be going? I don't even know. I think Home Depot existed somewhere, but not where we live. So, Dad walks across the street, wakes up this guy, Dale. Dale walks across. He's all groggy. He looks at it, he's like, well, who's going to pay for my truck? Dale never paid for our dad repaired the pillar on his own on a house we rented. Love that. So it's still, we didn't quite realize that something was kind of off with this guy. And then what I didn't have in this picture initially was he used to have a tree. He used to have one of these beautiful split driveways. Until one day we woke up to the sound of him, and we're talking a 100-year-old tree. We're probably talking, you know, I don't know the girth of it, whatever. You can imagine it's a good size for a tree. We wake up to him with a manual craftsman axe, chopping this tree down. Oh God, well, why are you, my dad goes, well, what are you doing? I don't like this tree. I understand you, do you know what you're doing? Like you're in the middle of a residential area chopping down a 100-foot tree. Like, yeah, I know what I'm doing. So 5 days, Dale's out there chopping until one day I come home from school and my bus has to stop right here because there is a tree across the road. That was fine for me. I lived right here. I was like, sweet, there's a tree. So I jumped over and went to my house. The poor kids who lived a mile down this road, there is no good way to get down here. So they're like, I guess we're walking. Which I guess you Depression era people are like, good for them.
We're in the snow.
Yeah. Eventually we find out, okay, and I kind of want you to keep this image because I'm not going to stay here very long. This is Dale's house. Turns out this is Dale's mom and dad's house. Dale is a man in his mid-40s. We're going to get to that in a second. Dale's parents live right here. Dale's parents' farm, is down here, and it goes all the way around here. Turns out it's all the way up here. Dale's parents sold all their stuff to Dairyville. This is Linden, Washington, where everybody was selling their stuff to Dairyville, it felt like. So they had this huge farm. Mom and Dad lived here. His brothers and sisters lived down the road. So eventually they come and chainsaw this thing up and it's gone, except for that the power was out for the whole day because they didn't come repair the power. Those are the first 2 times we met Dale. So who was this Dale? This resolution in this machine is really bothering me because this is my illustration and it's bad, but it is not this bad. I kind of like to think that I have a 7th grade ability to draw at least.
It's 7th grade is good.
It's 7th grade. We'll give it that. Dale liked us. It turns out my brother and I would wait for the bus on the other side of the street. So in my low-tech version, we're waiting for our bus down here. Here's Dale's house. Dale liked to come greet us every morning. It turns out he met Corey's name. So no matter what, if it was Corey or if it was me, oh, by the way, Corey's my brother. He's older than I am. Okay. If it was Corey or if it was me or if it was our friends later on, because our friends wanted to meet this guy, it didn't matter. He would go, hey, 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 hey. hey, Corey. Hey, Corey, guess what I'm gonna. Okay, that's how every story started. So we'd be like, hey, Corey. But instead of waving at us, Dale had an interesting way of greeting us. It was harmless, and I don't believe he knew what he was doing, but he gave us the birdie. The ring finger, because there's children in there. While he smiled. Every morning. It was a fantastic way to start your day, you know, like.
Sounds like karma to me.
Dale would get original with the way he greeted us. My favorite to this day was the time, and I'm not going to do this because.
Yes, do it. Yes, do it.
Yeah.
No,
You have to do
I
it.
will simulate half of it.
Okay.
Dale decided to turn around.
Oh,
Then
no.
he was going to bend down like he was going to hike us a football. And then he instead just reached his hand up his rear end and gave us the birdie. He is smiling at us between his legs. Hello to you, sir. At about this time, my parents started like, you know, I don't really want you guys associated with Dale. And but of course, Corey was a freshman. No, this is Mom and Dad, we're going to break rules on this one. We're going to talk to this guy because he's fantastic. He's everything we dreamed of in a neighbor. Dale, around the first thing that he did, and I remember this is about this time I'm 7th grade, and a 7th grade boy, like I said, is pretty much the devil incarnate. Okay? I don't know what happens, everything's going along smoothly, hormones come in, and it's like, it's time to break the law for the first time. And so I got in trouble a couple times for vandalism in that era. And this guy was my hero. One time he came outside and he, hey, Corey. Hey, Corey, check this out. Okay. Reaches down and he picks up a rock and he goes, this is to get back at the girls at Bob's Burger and Brew. What? And then he turns and he throws it at his own house. Oh, not you, Bob Vila. Sorry, that's not Bob Vila, it's Al. He throws it through his stained glass window on the side of his door, shattering, a perfectly good hole. I'm sitting there like, what's up? Why would anyone do that? This is not, I'm smart enough to know in 7th grade that's not normal human behavior, but I'm loving it. Like, this guy's breaking all the rules. That did show those girls at Bob's Burger. Bob's Burger and Brew, you take a road over here, you go up 2 miles. I'm sure they're driving down. Let's go check on Dale. Let's see what Dale's doing. He threw a rock. We should have given him better customer service. No, Dale. Nobody knew about what you were doing but us. And we loved it. So some things to keep in mind as this image disappears. This is a carport. Here's his beautiful Toyota. Here's where his tree once was. The stump. It is a stump. And that's where we're going. So but he kind of looked like, okay, so I kind of want to give an idea what he looked like. You take was it Al Borland?
Yeah.
Al Borland from Tool Time. Do you miss that shot? Does anyone ever just like wake up and like,
It's still on.
I know. It's still up, but it's not the same, is it? And you take homeless Keanu Reeves. And you have my friend Dale. With his trusty sledgehammer here, which we'll learn about in a minute. Always with the John Deere hat, always with a plaid, always with some dark jeans and boots covered in excrement because he worked in the farm. And that's what we grew to know. This was a dumb history joke about the Trail of Tears, but I'm like, can you make a joke about the Trail of Tears?
No.
It's never.
It's always too soon.
It's always too soon. Once upon a time, going back, Mom and Dad decided we didn't want to rent this house anymore. So this is an old church building, which you can't tell today. This is a 1920s church/schoolhouse. Dad decides, we're going to buy that place. It's one big room. No insulation, no foundation. All of the things that I ended up doing.
Right next to Dale.
And so we moved across the street to this building, minus these ghosts. Although there was a weird Mennonite school that met there before we got there. And they had this beautiful, tiny little, what are they called? What was it?
Merry-go-round?
Yes, thank you. Wow.
Before Hellman.
Merry-go-round. We had this beautiful merry-go-round. For the first 3 weeks we lived there, the merry-go-round was ours. We loved it. We're like spinning on this merry-go-round. One day these Mennonites just show up and start digging the merry-go-round out of the ground. And if I was smart, if I knew what I was talking about in 7th, 6th grade, I would have been like, oh, we attached a motor to that, so you can't use it anymore.
Oh. Too soon.
Sorry, the Mennonites. I'm sorry. I know, the Mennonites can use. Instead of living in the house, my parents decided we were living in a 28-foot travel trailer while we repair this thing over the course of 2 years. And the luxury of a 1970s, 80s travel trailer where they thought 1 inch of foam covered in tweed is just glorious. Your bath, this is about the size, hello. This is about the size of your toilet/shower, which is fantastic. Later on, Kayla, who was 5 at the time, we were in middle school and high school. She had to share the upper section with us, which was 3 bunks. Nothing like a high schooler, a middle schooler, and a 5-year-old sharing the space of about 7 cubic feet.
I loved it.
I know you loved it. Tell us a story. Kayla, go to bed. Don't you hate when people do this and stupid things? So now we're next door neighbors to them. Good choice. This hedgerow now was once not a hedgerow. This was once a beautiful row of, mid-tier. They're a little bit taller than this. Actual fir trees. There's about 8 of them right up and down this property line. As we're moving in that frantic stage of moving in, plus doing a whole bunch of demo, we had to pull all the lath off the wall and the plaster board and put insulation because there's no insulation. Found a newspaper with the presidential election of Taft in the wall, which was quite interesting and neat. Also below the house when we were doing the foundation, because we did that as well. Sorry, the trauma a little bit. Found a Pepsi Cola bottle, but our this house, the ex-crack addict electrician that was working with me was like, I collect those, can I have it? And I was 6th grade, so I was like, I really want it, but okay. One of my great regrets of all time is giving that ex-crack addict.
Like the stump is gone.
Yeah.
The stump is totally gone at this point. Did I not tell that story? I did not tell that story.
About the art.
Let me look at my time. Dale did not like that stump. He dug it out by hand. And if you've ever dug a stump out of... on a scale of 1 to 10 in yard work, pulling a stump has got to be a 9.5. And he dug it out by hand. He eventually got tired. He was doing every root structure, like sweeping it out like an anthropologist. He eventually, his brothers came, brought the chainsaw, he pulls it out. He fills this with cement. And that's a great story, because later on, after he got filled dirt and he put it in cement, one time we were outside, he's like, I don't, hey Corey, I don't like this cement spot we put in. I'm like, even my 7th grade sense was like, Dale, it's a different age of cement. It's going to be a different gray for a long time. In fact, it may never match. I don't like that. So he destroyed it. He tore it back out. Which is, later on, we'll figure out what that inspires him to do. But currently, we're talking about these trees. One time my dad came home to find that Dale had debarked the bottom of all of these trees. A good 9 feet of pure bark. Nothing prettier, by the way. The pure, sappy wonder of a fir tree. You're thinking,
On our side of the border, too.
on our, we'll get to the border dispute in a minute. He decided that just having them like this wasn't good enough, so he topped them at the point of the... At this point, my dad is living. He goes and hires a surveyor to go check out where the trees are, if they are ours. It turns out they were like 20% ours, right? So they were on our borderline, but mostly his. He's like, you have a fight here if you want it, but most likely, you know, like at this point, what's the point?
The trees
This is
are
the-
dead.
Yeah, this is really hot.
Yeah.
So then they're sitting there, and he decides to paint them red with orange red, like it's a little But I get it. Like this makes sense. I think it was some horrible totem pole art that he was inspired to make. At this point, Dad goes over to the neighbors, so we figured out this winter, Mom and Dad, they come and they chop these things the rest of the time because you do not want to live in it. People would slow down. These are the ugliest poles I've ever seen. What horrible Native American tribe is this? The Dale tribe, okay. Alright, so that's where I'm at there. We're going to end that. That happens every time and I'm going to go low tech now. Ooh, this is dark. This is what I'm used to. This is my bread and butter. Sometimes when kids are not behaving, I just talk about my weird love affair with whiteboards. And I go close to them. And I just touch them. Nothing makes a class silent like a freaky sub. What's wrong with that guy?
Was that too
Is
bright?
that too bright?
I don't know. I think that it works. We're living here. These are now gone. Whoop. The stumps are there. What do you think he does to the stumps?
Take them out one by one.
He de-rooted them as well.
Oh my goodness.
Now, these were not as old growth, but still, if you've ever torn out a 40, 50-year-old tree, you know what kind of work we're talking about. Plus, you're talking about a huge disparity in soil. I don't know if I can do a trench very well. We now have a disparity. Somehow we got his parents to bring him some fill dirt, but it never quite settled. Has anybody ever like filled a huge hole and then it settles and there's still an indent? As you go back, you feel it never works the same, does it? The street. This one time the city came. They're like, "Hey, we gotta like access some land under your house, and it's there. And you didn't know about it. It's an easement." Well, okay. We'll fill it. We'll make it look like new when we're done. Oh, okay. Well, if you're gonna do that, you never trust it. It never looks the same once the city's done. So they fill this in, and it never quite fills. Well, at this point, Dale still has this dirt pot here, and again, Dale gets mad at the ladies at Bob's Burger and Brew. And we wake up to the sound of a sledgehammer. I guess I can lay this out, can't I? And Dale is sledgehammering his entire driveway. This was a beautiful driveway, was it not, family?
Yes.
It was one of those driveways that was done right. It had the chicken wire in it. It had rebar at times. It was not an easy task even for Dale, who would have been a World War I trencher's, a general's dream. So give this man a yard tool and he would have won the war. He's tearing this entire thing up. It takes him months. And adding a lovely pile of rebar-ish chicken wire cement down our property line. But who doesn't want that? It's kind of like when you look at the Irish countryside and there's just rocks everywhere from like ancient societies, only slightly insane societies here. Our dad, again, but many times has now had conversations with this man and Dale's parents on this side, decides he's going to throw some dirt on our side and plant some wildflowers. And when these wildflowers came up a few months later, this inflamed Dale. Which led him to... Oh, by the way, this story is 92% fact, okay? It is 10% alternative facts, and 7% my imagination from middle school. And so, who shot the house has always been a question. We heard the 22, it was close. We felt the thump, we eventually found the shell casing, and we called the police, and they came. This was the first time they came. There was not enough evidence. Dale. Dale hated the wildflowers. I don't know why. Dale hated the wildflowers. By this time, Corey and I had moved out of here. We're living in this little, I think it was a woodshed. Remember the breezes that the northeaster winter, this is Bellingham, Washington, Linden, Washington, then the wind blow would just come in, and we had one of those, what are they, 3-inch heaters, tabletop heaters, underneath our 3 sleeping bags that we shared together, sleeping under there. And
Is this the Depression era?
it was for us. I read The Greatest Generation and I was like, for that and more. Dale worked at his parents' house. He walked a path to his parents' house every day. This is like your professionally manicured path right behind our yard. Why he did not take the road, which is probably the equal distance. In fact, since this is pictures to scale, this is a 28-inch travel trailer. I mean, no, I'm kidding. He walked this path. Our window looked right here. Every morning we would be making breakfast. He'd walk by, flip us off. So, one of the times that we realized something was really off. Oh, my orange is gone. Thank you, daughter. What time? No, I guess I can't get to the orange yet. We heard some swear words you've never heard uttered before. I guess this crowd is probably too young to know that if you ever play online video games, 7th grade kids now have access to video games as well, and they buy kits to like talk to each other on there, and they say the strangest combinations of swear words you'll ever hear. They combine things they've heard their parents say and things on television, and you're like, that grouping of swear words has never happened before. That's what my brother and I heard outside one day. And he was again mad at the ladies of Bob's Burger and Brew. I don't know why he just didn't take his service elsewhere, or his money elsewhere. But we found him with his trusty sledgehammer slamming his trunk. This was in 1989. It was brand new, but by this point it's 1992 or so. So it's a couple years old, but still looked pristine, wailing away. There's nothing like the sound of sledgehammer to truck. It never goes away. Sometimes I'm sleeping and I can't sleep, and then I can fall asleep. I also lived next to the train tracks at one point. I'm like, and then we moved away. I'm like, I miss the trains smashing into each other. Anybody on River Road knows that feeling. Okay. So we woke up to the sound of him slamming his truck. We went outside, and this was again a glorious sight. By this point, my brother and I have made friends because of our stories about Dale. And in 7th grade, your friends are really fickle and they're not going to last at all, and none of these people were. But they would spend the night in my house just to spy on him. And some days he did nothing. This is one of those days like kids would be like, well, we gotta go check him out. He was like Boo Radley of our time. So he would smash up his truck and with a weird combination of swear words. He took a lot of aggression out on that truck. One day he broke out the back window for no apparent reason, and then he just put up like a plastic cellophane with tape around it. We could never figure out why he did that. He didn't like the bucket seat, and I don't know if it was called a bucket seat and that's what bothered him. He literally removed the bucket seat and turned a 5-gallon bucket upside down and drilled it to the floorboard. I don't know the utilization of skills involved there. Like, sometimes the payload's not large enough and I need another 5-gallon bucket. We stopped questioning Dale's rationale. Should I tell the backstory about what we found out about Dale?
Not yet.
It's always so sad when I get there.
No.
All right.
No.
Okay. Again, remember my father is as a counselor at this point. He's imploring Dale's parents, this guy needs help. There are serious issues of a 45-year-old man wearing plaid that are going on here that need to be rendered. Smashing your truck is not normal. He then painted the top half of his truck house paint orange, his favorite color, and only the top half of the truck, which led drip marks down. Painting a car is not easy, but brush strokes never look good, right? It's just flat paint. It was a thing of beauty at that point, driving down the road, bucket seat, true bucket seat. Dented everywhere. Looked like you'd gone through a... Oh, I miss these. Remember when these get crashed, demolition derbies with vehicles?
Yeah.
And that back when again we had no safety rules. You slid into a rock at home plate. I miss those days. There are a lot of, and I'm just going to briefly go, there was a lot of other bizarre things he did. One of my favorites was when he decided to trench out underground power to his house, the most beautiful trench you'll ever see, about 4 foot wide, about 4 foot deep, perfectly square. It was like a trench machine can't even do this. And then of course it rains in Washington all the time, so it's just filled with water. So my brother and I got on our BMX bikes and built a ramp and we just jumped into it. Hey, Corey, don't, that's my underground power. Turns out that the electric company doesn't do underground power, and which most people would be very upset about our work. Ah, okay. So we just got his buckets. He didn't have a wheelbarrow by the way. All he did was use a 5-gallon bucket, a different 5-gallon bucket. He would just haul little buckets and refill them. Like, okay, awesome. One of my favorite days of all time was the day I came outside and I heard the strangest noise ever. I heard a car peeling out, just like at full speed revving, and then you hear this jerk noise. And I come outside, and Dale has attached a chain to the back of his truck and to the main support beam of his carport. And the car was just, remember this is a dirt driveway at this point, so his car is just zipping, and at one point he realizes, oh, I need to back up to get some momentum. So he backs up, and you never heard a home make noises till you've heard the main support beam in a garage / carport just being pulled by a mini Toyota pickup truck. Just the creaks. And the third time he does this, the whole carport, except for this back wall, just rips away from the side of his house. Just down the road.
Were your friends over there?
No. This was just a moment that we shared. That is just why. I don't know why. We don't need a reason why. It happened. Dale had a door here, side door, which he hardly ever used. He now had a gaping hole on the side of his house, and he put a black hanging tarp up. Black hanging tarp, never repaired it by the time we lived there. So this is 2 years' time that we lived there. You would hear that black tarp like, you know, like almost like the parachutist. Oh, no one else knows Lord of the Flies. I guess I'm a substitute teacher. I know this. Lord of the Flies, the parachutist. So that gets torn away. The other great highlights are another time he got really upset. Lifted the hood of his truck up. He no longer had a sledgehammer, he had an axe. And these were strange swear words that day, were they not? And we see him swinging axe into engine bay. Never, probably not a mechanic would recommend that. He eventually hit the radiator, and he had just driven this thing, and it shot hot radiator fluid all over him, which brought out another layer of swear words. We were like, this is amazing. I think that was the last time we called the cops on him. They showed up at that time, and they're like, yeah, he's not breaking the law. This is his own property, but something has to happen here. Like I said, his house was on a hill. I don't want to get into how lovely and how long this took. But he eventually leveled his yard. The entire front lawn to the point where it was level with the road. He had a basement. So we're talking probably about 8 feet from the road to the point of his home. And so when he was done, the cement stairs were hanging in midair. And this is how he accesses. Remember, he has a door here that he does not use. So he put a stepladder, and he accessed his house via a stepladder to his staircase to his home. This is the thing we never told our mom and dad. Dale comes over one time, right to our board. We're over here, and he's, hey, Corey, hey, you want to see what I'm doing in my basement? Looking back, like, not a good choice. Never go in the basement of a bizarre, Boo Radley-ish neighbor like Dale. But of course, yes, we want to go. So he invites us in, and of course, we're like exploring his house like a kid on the first day of a new house. Mom and Dad bought a new home. We're like running around. We're opening every door. There is nothing in this whole house. We're opening door. Nothing. Nothing in that room. Open the door. Here's a sleeping bag and one of those 1980s long radio TV combos. That's it. That's all he had in his bedroom. We're going through his house. I open the fridge. There's an orange and a bag of Tostitos chips. I don't know if he knows something about maintaining cordon tortilla chips longer. I don't know. That was it. We're like, this is awesome. We're exploring his home. Then he invites us down into the basement, and we're like, okay. We go down there, and he had pulled all of that 80s, 70s paneling off the walls. Remember that stuff? Some of us still have it on our walls. We're like, I'm going to deal with that someday. And it's still there. I'll paint over it instead. No longer paint on. Okay. He had pulled those off, and it was just studs. And I don't remember what his plan was, but he's like, hey, check this out. He grabs the Romex wire. Do you guys know the white 110 wire that goes to an outlet? Just starts pulling on it. Even Corey and I were not electricians. So not a good scenario. And of course it happened. Dale got electrocuted from almost does like the legs coming off the ground thing. We're like, oh, yes! We ran upstairs laughing. Eventually we told Mom and Dad, like, Dale got electrocuted. Like, Mom's like, we should probably check on him. I don't know. It was really funny. Yeah. I grew to have some empathy later, but I didn't really have it then. That's about, I mean, there are other stories. I could tell you about how we decided to grow corn in the backyard, and then realized he couldn't get a tractor back there to cultivate it, so it just rotted, and we had crows in the backyard. What else am I forgetting? Anything good? The trench. Whatever. Long story short, eventually my parents convinced Dale's parents to get him some help. And they did. And all this stuff disappeared. His house kind of looked like this when we sold our home, though, correct? I don't know what the realtor had to say. Like, I'm not sure what's going on next door, but I'm sure they'll do growing corn? It's a fledgling corn operation. They'll get it together. The backstory. We finally, and this is hearsay, we don't know if this is true or not. We found out one time that Dale, when he was in high school, was fairly normal. He had a severe schizophrenic break. This is no longer fun. And at 19, he proposed to a girl on the top of this Ferris wheel, and she said no. And that was the break that changed that man forever. Sometimes when I tell this to high school kids, they laugh harder at that part than the rest of this. And then I just start writing refillers. And then the reason why is like horrible person. It's just a horrible person. This is the story of Dale. This got me through my middle school years. I made many a friend. Many a not really good friend out of this. But it got us through those years. We moved, and then I started Elmira down here my next year. But we used to drive back up there hoping just to see him, and there's nothing there anymore. Now it looks normal, and, which is probably a good thing. He probably got the help he needed. But for a lot of years, boy, did he entertain us. There is no real moral to the story, except for I hope that you're a better person than I was in middle school. And that's where I'm going to end. I hope you enjoyed the night. I'm sorry to not dress up like our friend Samuel Clemens back there. I hope that I did not tell many, as Sam Clemens would say, there are lies, there are damned lies, and then there are statistics. And like I said, 92% of this was true. Which is a statistic. I hope you enjoyed the night. I hope you think of stories you may have if we ever do this again. I'd love to have you guys out here. I think we all would love to have you out here telling some stories. You can use even a little bit of technology if you want, or not. So, thanks for coming out. Sam, you want to end the night?